discussing over the last sort of 3 days of these riots, but there doesn't seem to be any particular pattern as to where these rioters are targeting their acts of violence. Ealing itself was something of a surprise as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. It's not a renowned, in terms of deprivation, I guess it's not, or poverty, it's not one of those areas that you would necessarily associate with that sort of behaviour as you might do with other areas of London. So yes, it's something of a surprise that it's come out this far. I've been listening to the radio on my way over here, a London station, somebody on there on a talking, reporting also that there's been some incidents in Wimbledon this evening. Again, a sort of pretty affluent part of London. Another guy on the radio saying that there's been some looting at a Tesco store in East Dulwich. Again, although it's fairly near to some fairly poor areas, it is pretty affluent itself. So it seems to be the pattern that these youngsters, these youth, are essentially looting shops and causing damage and clashing with police in the areas in which they live. Although in Tottenham, for instance, on Thursday, Saturday rather, people were saying that some of these lads who were involved had come from other areas. I think the pattern we're seeing here is that these are very much youth from their local area who know the area, know the streets, know the stores that they want to loot, for instance.
OK, Simon Newton, thank you for that update. Well, elsewhere in London, Sky's Mark Stone witnessed rioting in Clapham in South London. We heard from him a short time ago.
I have never seen anything like it. I have to say, it was extraordinary. I live locally. I heard that this was coming on, so I came down on my bicycle and I started up by coming up from a side street and ended up coming right into the middle of it because, of course, there were no police here 2 or 3 hours ago, so there was no reason to know that it was actually going on at the time. So I cycled straight into it. That's when we took that video footage where you saw them trying to pull the television screens off the wall of Ladbrokes. I then turned round. I saw it was happening at Wimpy as well, down the road, literally just there at Debenhams, at a hairdresser's too. Any shop that they could find that they could get into, they were. And as I mentioned, these were young kids. These weren't adults. They were young kids, boys, girls, some of them as young as 14, 15. Someone said to me just now, where on earth are their parents? Well, I think that's a question that's going to be answered tomorrow. But now it is quieter. The police arrived here, about an hour ago, so there was 2 hours where people could do what they like, and they have done. Look, that's a jewellers and pawnbrokers there. You can see they've managed to get inside. Let's move actually a little bit closer to the pawnbrokers. You can see what they've managed to take everything from the windows, absolutely everything. And I walk up and down this street regularly. These windows are full of the sort of things you'd find in a jeweller's, and everything's gone. Moving up here, you can see, look, there's a shoe here that someone has tried to nick from the shop JD Sports just down the road. It's the same all the way up this street. They moved up shop by shop by shop. We watched them, local residents watched them too. And sorry, the cameraman's just tripping over some of the rubbish that's down here. So, everyone watched them. No one could do anything. I was talking to a couple of these people. They were nasty bits of work. They did not want to be filmed. And when they saw that I was filming on my iPhone, very quickly they tried to take that off me. I ran down the street up that way and we got away. But the police weren't here. They are here now. But at one point, just up there, there's a branch of Millets or Blacks, I think it is, the outfitters. And the police were here, but only in small numbers. And so they had just watched as the looters continued. So police on one side of the road watching the looters taking stuff out of Blacks because there weren't enough police at the time. You can see some of the other shops along here, T-Mobile. There's a theme with all the shops. They're electrical stores, or they're stores that they think there will be money in. In fact, actually, we can move over here to our right. There's a branch of Boots. That too has been comprehensively destroyed. In fact, we could even go inside here and see what they've done. I'll leave the cameraman out there because we might lose the signal. But you can see here, inside a branch of Boots, there are drugs all over the floor. These packets are empty Imodium. But, it's just extraordinary. They're taking what they can. They presumably tried to go to the cash register. That's what they were doing in Brixton last night. We've been in Brixton all day today. The people there were telling us that was what was happening in Brixton. It's the same here, taking whatever they can of value And these are just opportunists, really. You can see the police are now there. They've stopped the protesters, the rioters, the looters from doing any more here. But I was at a back street just over there. There were still an awful lot of people milling around, young men with masks on, hiding their faces, milling around. There are not enough police in this area at the moment to be able to contain all those people. They're just running around, running amok all over the place. Extraordinary scenes tonight.
That was Mark Stone speaking to us earlier from Clapham Junction. Well, our Home Affairs correspondent, Mark White, joins us on the phone. Mark, you were in Croydon earlier. Just remind us what happened.
Well, scenes of significant disorder really throughout Croydon, throughout the course of last night and into this morning. That disorder, as we left Croydon, actually was continuing. We left Croydon about 2.5 hours ago or so. There were fires still raging on London Road, Main Road, heading through Croydon. Not just one property, numerous properties in the London Road area affected by fire. They've been torched by looters who'd ransacked local shops along London Road, and that it was continuing. As I say, as I left, there were no police in that particular area where the looting was continuing because they were up protecting the firefighters who were trying to get those blazes under control. And all the time, local residents from the affected properties were evacuated out onto the streets, queuing with, heavy hearts, the scenes they were witnessing there, their homes engulfed in flames, their neighbours out with them as well, comforting them in some instances. I'm sure that some of those residents will be put up in their neighbours' homes in the next day or so until arrangements can be found to find them more permanent accommodation. But really, just a tragic scene in Croydon, watching the level of destruction there. And I think when sun rises in a couple of hours' time and the cameras are back out in Croydon again, and you see the level of destruction in the cold light of day, I think people will be astonished at just how ferocious it was.
We're looking at the scenes of those houses burning, and you've been describing how the fires have been spreading to residential homes. Where are those residents going?
Well, the residents are out watching the fire with other people, with bystanders, with their neighbours, with the public protection police officers, the riot officers out there protecting the fire brigade. They're all out in the street. They're all watching, just the very disturbing sight of these homes in London, in South London, being engulfed in flames. I mean, the thing about Croydon is you couldn't really be much further away from Tottenham, where this started on Saturday night, related to the shooting of Mark Duggan last Thursday night, which sparked these very violent scenes in Tottenham on Saturday. And no one in Croydon and other parts of South London that I visited throughout the course of the night believed that they would see this kind of rioting on their streets. They just thought it would have been confined to the North London area, which indeed it was pretty much for the first day or two. But now, of course, we've witnessed really an unprecedented spread of these disturbances right across London. As we speak, I'm just heading into the Ealing area now. So many shops along the Uxbridge Road in Ealing, heading towards Ealing Broadway, smashed in, shop after shop. Police van after police van now here as well to try to bring, well, they have brought pretty much a calm to the area now, but it's the clear-up that will happen in the hours ahead. And obviously they'll be looking ahead to what could potentially be another night of violence in the capital this evening. No one wants to see that, but, they have to be prepared.
Well, I got caught up in some of that violence earlier, Mark. It's incredible to see how fast it escalated. And there is quite a human cost to all of this. Earlier we spoke to Trevor Reeves. Now, he's the owner of the business you saw earlier when Mark was speaking. It's the House of Reeves, which is a furniture store an iconic building in Croydon. This is what he had to say.
I'm totally, well, me and my brother are here and we're just totally devastated. It's just, well, 5 generations. Half of the business is now completely destroyed. We've got customers to serve. The whole area and the way that things just work in these days in Croydon is just despicable, absolutely despicable. I can't believe that as I drove past my shop, having had an alarm call, 2 minutes later it's blatant because someone just got in and torched it. Saw the people coming out of the building and just running off with a crowd of people around it. It's just absolutely staggering that it could happen, especially when there's warnings. I mean, if the police and the fire engines that are here now had been here a minute after the wretches had come out of the building, I wouldn't be standing here looking at a hulk of something that was built in the late 1800s. It's just provided my family and the 15 to 20 staff and families that we support, and it's just completely destroyed. I just fail, words fail me.
Okay.